How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today we're taking a look at basically something where what I feel like some players might need to learn is kind of those situations where it's starting to go bad and deciding what the best course of action is. And I'm hoping in this replay in the FV 4005 that you'll probably be able to see what kind of thought process you should be doing when you're playing in game. It was a carry at the end, really tense for me. I mean, I did get slightly lucky, as you have to kind of in these games with regards to winning and losing the game. So what I've done is I've moved up into this position because this map is not particularly great for the FV 4005, especially because there's artillery on the game, which is never fun. And for the first bit of the game, we basically don't really do too much. We see that there's an E5, just checking what it is, deciding whether I want to fire AP or whether I want to fire Hesh, and we miss it anyway, which is really annoying. And now we're wary because obviously when you're in a tank like this that's got no armour, and even when you're not in a tank that has armour, you kind of always have to be artillery aware. I mean, it doesn't really matter in some games because you have to push and you have to take the chance of artillery hitting you. But in something like this, if it does hit you, it's probably going to pen and you're going to lose all your hit points. So I'm trying to keep hidden and behind that rock. I mean, it might offer some protection. It will make the shot harder for the artillery to actually hit. So reducing that chance is always the best option. The IS-4 there, we hit him through with a crack. There we go for 953. He does hit us, but in return. But we do need to start whittling these tanks down. So taking a 2.5 for 1 damage caused / received is enough. And obviously taking 400 damage, that's not a lot, considering we just hit him for 950. So in this situation, I'm figuring out basically that the majority of our tanks are going to be over here in this area of the map, and we know that the enemy team are probably going to be over there. I mean, we don't know that yet for sure, but that's what I'm presuming is going to be the case. So we've got to push this flank. We've got to push forward and really push out that damage as quickly as possible. So what we're going to do is, we see that the KPZ is committed to the 57 heavy, and so we're going to go and try and give him a bit of help. One problem I have got is obviously keeping artillery in mind. I've always got that in the back of my mind, whether we can put ourselves in a position where I can shoot enemy tanks but not actually get hit by artillery. We're a bit hesitant to push down to the IS-4 because if I push down and shoot him, the 57 heavy then can reload and he might be able to kill us using his alpha damage, because obviously he's got 1600 total alpha. We see he's pushing because the KPZ's moved, and we're just waiting for him. We put one into him for 1098, low rolling, but yeah, he got absolutely demolished there, and he's out of the game. So it's just waiting as well. When you know someone's coming around a corner, if rather than move and stuff, you really need to stop, think, and then pre-aim, because pre-aiming is something you've always got to do, and it gives you the upper hand then if someone comes around a corner, and doing that more often will 100% increase the chances of you doing more damage. I didn't realise for a little bit that the IS-4 didn't actually die, so I do know now, but I didn't at the time. We realise there's a light tank over there, and it's a bit risky now. It's kind of a bit dodgy, this situation. We've got a Centurion 7/1, a Conqueror on no health who's probably going to die because their whole team are over there. And yeah, it's definitely a risky thing. He dies there, as you can see, he's dead. We try and shut down that guy over there, but our teammate, the Centurion 7/1, shuts him down anyway. And at this point I'm checking what's on the enemy team. we've got a Batchat who can kill us in one shot. We've got the two T92s who are probably going to kill us in one shot as well if they hit us. We've got the IS4, who's probably not too much of a worry, but he's just been shut down. And then it's the two objects, the tier 9 Russian heavy tanks, the 705 and the 257. We see the Batchat over there. We should have probably waited a little longer, but because we were actually fully aimed, but I just missed. Which is the problem. I've been finding it really weird. It feels like the rounds in this tank, because I've been playing medium tanks, are so slow and sluggish that I've really not found it nice to actually play. So we decide here we've got to start actually hitting these guys. I missed that shot and puts even more pressure on me. I'm thinking, right, it's an absolute dire situation over here. There's me and a 268 version 5 and a Centurion 7/1 against pretty much a full health Batchat, a full health 257 and a full health 705. We do use this little dip over here to get up and elevate our gun, because one thing about this tank is the elevation is actually really bad. So using positions like this will actually provide us the right kind of gun depression to be able to actually hit these guys. We got a nice high roll there on the 257 as he's pushing up, and at this point I'm moving back now, because you really need to push back, because we get hit by artillery who takes out our commander. We make an absolute disgusting misplay here. I'm auto aiming there, which was really bad. I don't know what the 705 was doing, but that was the lucky bit in this replay. We've got the 257 who I thought was going to try and jump on me and die anyway, but he gets shut down by our artillery, I believe. And at this point we're going to go for the lower plate of this guy. He's fired and we shut him down. Now, this is a seriously risky thing right now. We know that the Batchat's on 1391. If I low roll with Hesh, which we've decided to load now, it's not going to go very well, and he's going to be able to kill us, and we're kind of like a 50-50 whether he's going to actually one-shot us with his round if he high rolls, so it's really risky right now. I move up here just to try and spot. He gets spotted. He pushes up, which is his big misplay. If he didn't come out, I'm using the outside third person aim and we shut down the Batchat, dealing 13 and 91 damage. So we're on 3 kills, and at this point I'm yet again getting into an RT safe position, and from here on out it's basically just us capping the base. And there we go, we've dealt 7,427 damage, 1,535 XP and 3 kills. It's not my best game I've ever had, obviously, and it's not particularly a fantastic game in the FV 4005, because, you know, on average it's probably only 7 shots of damage, which is, it's kind of lucky to whether you can actually get the opportunity to deal 7 shots of full health damage. So yeah, we're gonna now move on to another gameplay and kind of look through some situations there and try and help you guys learn what you've got to do in these scenarios. Right, so our next replay is here on Arctic region. We're in the T-34. I was just trying to earn a bit of credits because I'd recently bought quite a few tier 10 tanks. I've been playing the Dragon, got a little bit sick of playing that tank, even though it's really, really, really strong, and I've played really well in it. I think I averaged like 3k damage in it over like 100 and something games. 3 marked it in like 80 games. Yeah, it was a really fun tank to play. The T-34, however, it's got 400 alpha. It's slow. It's pretty much got no armor because everything can pen it from like tier 7 and upwards. Tier 6s might struggle. It's good at side scraping because it has side armor, or at least a little bit of side armor. Its turret's fairly strong, but it has got this weak point on the top of the turret, right about here, where players can pen, as well as in the cupola too. You can reliably get penned. Got 2 marks on it. I'm pushing for the 3rd. I think I've got like 93% so far. Shouldn't be too long before I get the 3rd mark. And in this game, I'm a bit worried because we've got a batch at 25 TAP, tier 9 French medium tank, who's pushed up fairly far. I've done it quite a few times where I've pushed up because, you know, it is a good position to use. But my main problem with it is that you can get YOLO'd by the enemy team should your team not actually support you. So by us sitting here and putting pressure on the guys, we can actually stop them from just pushing around and killing our Batchat AP, who is currently on a reload from what I can gather. So trying to keep him alive will help us keep ourselves alive, if that makes sense. So knowing when to actually push and knowing when to support your teammates is also a key feature in this game. Just being so selfish doesn't always necessarily actually work in your favour, because what happens is, yeah, you might have traded all their health and got more damage, but then what happens if you could have used your hit points to keep them alive, which would have meant that you could have actually killed all of the enemies, and therefore you could have survived for longer in the game. On the T-34, we're just using this place right here, getting kind of lucky to be able to just freely shoot them. And now I decide, because obviously the AP's on a reload most probably, and the Indian Panzer's pushing around, and I did see another tank actually move over this side earlier on. I'm going to go and actually be the front line now. He's used his hit points. He was on probably like 300, I believe, something like that. Tiger Shark pushes up to our right, but we're going to hit the Indian Panzer and track him, keep him in place, and now we're going to focus on the Tiger Shark because he does get 600 alpha, 6 or 800 alpha clip potential, something like that. So we really don't want to lose half of our health to him. So yeah, we're just putting a round into him. We shoot him right there, shutting him down, and now we can move on to the Indian Panzer, who the Batchat AP has already killed. So now we're moving on in this battle. We're going to move over to this side, try and see if anyone's in the middle in that section. As you can see on screen now, this section right there, this gap. So although there isn't anyone there, in hindsight, we didn't know that at the time, and so obviously using the positions where, you know, you can get yourself hold down in a tank like this, where you've got turret armor, when you're in a, you know, a +1 -1 situation, you're going to be able to bounce a couple of shots, and also you'll only be poking for a couple of seconds, where you're not going to be able to actually be reliably penned anyway, unless someone's pre-aiming for a long time and you keep re-poking in the exact same position where someone can just pre-aim where your weak spot's going to be, etc. So right now, we know that the 5120 is coming over this side, and our Batchat AP was over there as well, who's just been killed. That's an autoloader, obviously. It's an autoloading tier 9 medium tank, although it's more like a heavy with regards to its kind of play style that it should be taken with it. So we missed a shot on him there on the move. Good thing about the T-34 is you can hit shots on the move, which is really nice. Not the case on every single tier 8 heavy tank, but it's definitely good. He's dropped into the lake, and obviously he's going to be getting taken out in a second. There we go, he's dead. So now we're going to push up and try and get some more damage on these heavies that are camping just behind the rocks over here. I never ever go on that position. I just think it's a pointless place to be, because you can't have that much of an impact in the game. It's more of kind of just bait and shot with TDs that camp over there in our side, And just staying here is just not a good idea, and you're going to get shot in the side if players win this area here, and also if players win this area here, they're going to get side shots, as you can see we were doing. This Progetto 46 is unloading his clips into us. We hit him, but we get trapped. Don't understand that, but the Waffle Panzer IV misses us there. We try and track him again, but unfortunately he gets around us. In that situation, you probably are best just to not actually go for him. Waffle hits us, but he must be firing HE because he didn't actually pen, and he only hit us for 300 damage, which is definitely not his actual role. So that's the lucky thing in this game. He misses or us there, and we managed to actually hit him there. I believe he actually didn't miss. He was still firing HE, and he only dealt 100 damage to us. So now we're moving on to the VKB, who's been sat out in the open all game, sat behind this rock, what seems, for the whole game anyway. We're using our turret armor here against the VKB, whereas I think he must be stock. Yeah, he's a stock VKB, which is not a great tank because the turret is terrible, and he keeps exposing this area here. When you pull back around the corner, you want to make the angle as tight as possible, because otherwise, if someone's shooting, you have no opportunity to shoot back at them, but they're gonna be able to actually hit you. So if I was gonna do it myself, I'd be turning my track so that it makes a really steep angle. So if say I'm going for the shot on him, it's not actually going to be able to pen because it just ricochets off, or you've got the strongest bit of your tank towards. I mean, with regards to my pen, because I was firing a premium round there in the T-34, I probably would go through the lower plate anyway. But say this other player over here, the Stritzvarm on the move, or this TD, they might not be able to. And so when you're pulling back around a corner, you always want to get back around the corner as quickly as possible. And the most direct route to do that is coming in at the steepest of angle as possible and not exposing the lower bit of your tank. So yeah, that's a game in T-34. Pretty decent game right there. I think we did roughly about 5,000 damage in that game because we were just constantly firing. The problem with the T-34 is the actual the reload and the DPM. It's pretty terrible, but with the buffs we can keep pushing out that damage to actually win the game. So those were two games where I just really wanted to show you what you can kind of think about when you're actually playing in game, when it's best to do certain things, and just focusing on that, because realistically you should be trying to outplay your opponents by not only your actual aim but where you're situating your tank in the game, and also the way in which you're pushing or pulling back or retreating or choosing different options throughout your game. And it's just those small things that can mean that instead of being out in the open in front of 5 tanks, you could be one-on-one with a tank where they can't pen you but you can. For literally a sake of a 30-second redirection around, and then you can progress and move on and then make another decision. And it's all just keeping yourself alive throughout the game. So yeah, you don't want to be sat in front of a hold down, IS-7 if you're in a medium tank with no turret. Because obviously that's not going to work. You need to move away, take complete ownership that you're not going to win that fight unless the I-7 is particularly terrible and it keeps coming out and exposing his hull. But yeah, you just need to move, get away from there, and decide to move around and just make some different plays with regards to that. So I hope you guys have found it interesting. I know I will be continuing this series using some gameplay to try and teach you guys some of the different plays and some of the different areas I'll go on maps depending on the tank I'm in, and really just showing you my play style, and so hopefully you can kind of take something from it to be able to better your own game, especially with this new update and everyone being a bit scared as to where they're going, and they're not quite knowing what's the best places to go, and hopefully I'll be able to help you with that. Anyway guys, hope you have had a really good end to your year of 2020, as I have. I know the actual year itself was terrible, but yeah, the end was really nice. A nice Christmas and a nice New Year, and I hope you guys have had the same. If you like the video, please like it, and also subscribe to see some more content, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.